Good day everyone, this is Alec and I'm gonna talk about the feedback loop in control system. In control system, we have a complete system that has the input, the process, and the output, and the application of feedback loop here in the system. To know more about the feedback loop, I'm gonna talk about the four most important elements in feedback loop. Number one element is the receptor, two is the stimulus, next is the effector, and next is the response. The receptor is a sensory organ, while the stimulus is an action that evokes a response, and the effector is an organ that acts in response, and last is the response, which is the cause action of the effector. You can see that the receptor and effector is an organ, or this object, this organ, the receptor, effector, these are the physical things in our feedback loop. And to explain deeply the feedback loop, we're going to use the figure. The figure looks like figure 8. And here it goes. We put the receptor here in the middle, the effector up of the system, and another effector at the bottom of the system. And I'm going to draw a line coming from the receptor going to the effector, and another line coming from the receptor going to the effector, and a line coming from the effector going to the receptor, and another line coming from the effector going to receptor. We're gonna put our stimulus here, and another stimulus here, and the response here, and the response here. Effector, and receptor is a physical things. These are organ. The receptor which is a sensory organ, while effector is an organ that acts and responds, and the stimulus is an action that evokes a response, and the response is the cause action of the effector. In feedback loop, the most common example using the application of feedback loop is the thermostat. Thermostat is going to be our receptor. Anyway, that the thermostat is a component of control system that senses the temperature, and we will use it at our receptor. Next is the furnace. We will use the furnace as our vector. Furnace, and another furnace as our effector. And again, the thermostat is a component of control system that senses temperature. So what happens if it senses that the temperature gets too high? Too high. And what happens if the receptor senses that the temperature goes too low? Again, the receptor here is the thermostat. It will sense the temperature when it gets too high and gets too low. And the effectors, the receptor senses the temperature that it gets too high, the thermostat will turn off. What happens if the receptor senses that the temperature gets too low is that the effector will, or the furnace will turn on, and it will continuously happen as the thermostat senses the temperature. When it gets too high, the furnace will turn off, and if it gets too low, the furnace will turn on. So these are example of the feedback loop and the application of the feedback loop in a control system. Thank you.